Hello again, everybody. This is Matthew Ash from Trend Capture Futures, and I just wanted to go over the trade box here, which is instrumental in entering a position. We use it extensively, and as you can see, as the market ticks here, there is a number at the top, 38.92, and a number at the bottom, 38.86. One tick above 38.92 will start a new bar. So a print of 38.93 will begin a new bar. A print one tick below 38.86 will also begin a new bar. So at 38.85 you would begin a new bar. So let's say, just for example's sake, that we were getting a potential, well, now you just saw it changed, right? So in this situation, as you just saw, if this bar was giving you an indication that there was going to be a short trade, and the bottom of that trade box was 38.86, what you would do is put your order to sell short at 38.85, one tick below the bottom of that box. Now, immediately when the new bar forms, and you've already gotten an indication that when a new bar forms there is going to be a short trigger, now as soon as that new bar begins at 38.85, bam, you're filled, you're short, and you're good. That is the purpose of the trade box. Now here's another example here. Now what you ideally want to do is wait for the outline of this to turn either yellow or red, and that way you are directly at a position where once you break above or below inside that box is going to start a new bar. So that's the whole key behind that, is to use that box as a way of entering or having a resting order in place only when you get an indication that there's going to be a trade, which I talked about in earlier videos. You're going to get highlighting in here that's going to come on and off on this bar when there is potential for a trigger. And then when there's a trigger, you'll get an arrow here with the profit targets and the stops and so on and so forth. But this would allow you, for example, 38.78, right here on the bottom, you'd put your order in at 38.77, and now as soon as that new bar begins to form at 38.77 and you've got a confirmed short signal, bam, you're in 38.77. The other way of entering the trade is, once you get a signal, down here in the signal box it'll show you exactly at what price, not the bid or the ask, but the last trade, where that was when the trigger occurred. So in that situation, for example here, 38.95, you could put a limit order in at 38.95 to go short or long, whatever it is that it's telling you, and then wait for the market to come back and fill you. Now obviously you always run the risk of potentially not being filled, because sometimes as soon as you get a trigger, that particular market will just make a move. So really the best way to do it is to use the trade box, but you can also use the limit order with following the trade box over here and using the long entry price. The third way of entering a trade, which has more risk involved because of slippage, but it's still a possibility, is with market orders. And like I said, you get a heads up as to whether there's going to be a long or a short based upon the highlighting coming up on that particular bar. And that way, as soon as you start a new bar and you get that arrow up there saying that there is a trigger, you can enter at the market, and you're going to be guaranteed that you're going to be in the position, but you also might have some slippage and maybe a tick or two against you that will ultimately mean that you're going to need a tick or two higher than your profit target that shows in your trade box in order to achieve your goal. And that's basically all there is to the trade box. That's all you're looking to do, and that's all it's there for, is just to allow you to stay one step ahead and have that order in place at the number that you know a new bar is going to form, but only when there's an indication, because you get early indication. Only when there's an indication that there is going to be a trigger. So that's basically all I wanted to cover on the trade box. I'm going to go a little more in depth on the money management rules, and also some of the other little nuances with each of these models in forthcoming videos.